Hello. So you may be expecting to see some other people on the lean-in this evening. We've just got a few minutes, some precious time. Let me introduce Tony to you. Tony is from up in Bromley.
Super.
And leads Hope Church along with some other great leaders up there, and also leads. So we've got the big important people here this evening. He also leads the UK team as the Regions Beyond UK team, which for those of you if you're watching this for the first time, this wider family that we're part of at Redeemer. And Tony was down here in Worthing this evening, and so I've just grabbed him for a few minutes just to say hi and hear a bit about what's going on in Bromley.
Brilliant.
So Tony, you and your wife Tina and your son Lincoln. Based in Bromley?
Based in Bromley, yeah. Married 30-something years. Can I just say you picked the one chair that moves? I like this is quite fun.
Otherwise you'll be off screen.
Every preacher. So been married for 30-something years. Got 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
Our youngest Lincoln is 15 this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now officially taller than me and all of his brothers. So he's the tallest boy in the house.
Wow, there you go.
And he's now just had a buzz cut because he can still prove he's the tallest. And my daytime is filled with leading Hope Church, which is a church of 5 congregations in Bromley Borough, and have been leading that since 7 weeks before the pandemic.
And interesting.
Before that, I was one of our congregational leaders.
Yeah, and so some of you might have seen Tony. We had the hub here, the UK hub here last May in 2022, and Tony was here for that. So some of you will have met him then. He was also around for Gather last summer for our camp together. Unfortunately, couldn't make. He was going to. You and your wife were the whole time.
Annoyed by that.
But he made the last day. So some of you will have seen, and those people who left early, you missed out.
Yeah.
But actually, from that, so Tony had such a good time. Can you believe what Hope Church has done? They just ripped off Gather, and they just changed the name just slightly. And so I'm expecting. What sort of commission are we talking for the?
I tell you, mate, we've name your price. So we genuinely want to say thank you. I mean, first of all, thank you for hosting us so well as a church. It was just absolutely brilliant to come. We've been praying about your building. Obviously, you've been here a while, but to come here with 100 and something, 20, 30 leaders from across the UK and the nations.
Yeah.
And you guys did so well. So really want to thank you for that. Thanks for the invite to come this summer. And I was with you for one morning, but I have to say something. I did that few hours. It just unlocked something for us about the importance of gathering again as a church, and for Hope Church in different locations, it's important to us all to come together. But what I loved about what you did was you didn't just say, there's a Redeemer or Redeemer and Littlehampton, which you just planted, but you went, no, what about the Isle of Wight? And I love that about our Regions Beyond churches, this sense that we are this wider family. We're always looking beyond. We have literally nicked your whole idea. We followed the contact, said, actually, we did exactly the same as Worthing. In fact, we couldn't call it Gather because you've obviously got a trademark on that. So we called it Together. So Together is another way of wording it. Yeah, Together 23. And so we bring all the Hope congregations and hopefully about 4 or 5 other the London churches that relate to us. So we're there this August, and come up and see us if you want.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to coming up for a day or two maybe.
Critique us.
Yeah. And we're just so you know, we've actually just paid today as we record. We've just paid the deposit for Gather 24 for us, and so get that end of August, that bank holiday in your diary. We're really looking forward to it. And again, we'll invite Tony and Tina. We're going to invite other leaders and people from across the UK and maybe from Europe, and we've said about it before, but we'd really love to bring Kim and Smile over in the Philippines to be with us for that weekend. Really looking forward to it. And as much as I'm looking forward to that big commission coming our way, I'm just really excited. I'm excited for you. We had such a good time last summer.
Yeah, no, we are. I think they're unique moments, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're really excited.
So Tony, just to help us know what is going on, Regions Beyond, like UK, Europe-wise, what's coming up that we can plug into?
I think first of all, we all realise, you talked already about Philippines and other trips that you're doing. So we've seen a lot more international trips. I know you just come back from South Africa, and we just gathered a number of our emergent leaders for a week, and heard so many good things from that. But within the UK and Europe perspective, I guess we're asking you to think in two streams really. One is to start thinking more in your sub part of the UK, so in our case the southern hub, so this lower part of the south of England, and we're trying to encourage churches to spend more time together. So I think you really did set the benchmark, but also get everyone's thinking going about the idea of going away. I know in the north they're doing a one-day sort of mini conference together, and Daniel McLeod from Trinity's coming up and teaching there. And so different parts of the UK are doing more things together. We realise that the days of doing fusion and bringing everyone into one place, it's probably going to be a while before we do that again, even if we do that. But we do want to gather. And when we do meet one another, we realise, can't we do more together? And so our hope and heart is that in this next 18 months that we're going to see at least every region planting one church together. So we want as churches to be church planting, but sometimes isn't it great to do it together? So we're doing that. We have two big events that are happening this year, which we'd love to invite everybody who's a leader at Redeemer, and I'm going to say every one of you should view yourself as a leader. To us we're coming to Swindon, and we're really excited in May having Steve Oliver with us. It's been a while since Steve's been in the UK. So he's coming, although the 3 days are not built just around Steve. We'll have some other ministry. I'll be praying into what's happening in Swindon. And then in the latter half of the year, in November, we're going to Utrecht. And we're praying for Europe. And our invitation here is, if you are someone or a family who is from another part of Europe, so you've made your home in the UK, and you might not even be thinking about church planting, we want you to come be with us and come pray for Europe. Also, anyone who's got Europe on their heart. So our hope will be that we get a large number of people in Utrecht, and out of that, we're believing for some churches to come.
Amazing. So we would love to take a few carloads of people over to that. And I know we've had a few of you have already asked about that, and want to get those dates in the diary. We'll put those out, or they can go underneath this maybe. I think dates. I've been told dates are. We know the dates for those now, so we can. Rodney knows the dates. He was telling me today knows the dates.
Off camera, I said, I don't remember the dates. Do you don't remember the dates?
I could pick a few
on the bottom of the screen by now.
That's it. Tony, thanks so much for just that your flying visit. Thanks for being willing to come and record late in the evening. It's been really nice just to get to chat to you a bit. And hopefully now you know, if you didn't meet him at the Hub last year, if you didn't meet him at Gather, this is Tony, and you'll see him around at some other point. We're going to nail him down for a preaching in July sometime.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. Cheers, Tony.
God bless you, Redeemer.
Bye. Okay, so Tony has become Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey.
We're in a different day, so we've heard from Tony. Fantastic. We've got Mark here. So Mark and Maria are on the leadership team. They have been charged with the responsibility for overseeing the pastoral care in the church, which is fantastic. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much to both of you. Thank you, Maria. At home, we've just got Mark here. Mark's also helping us think about the prayer life of the church and what we're doing as a church. And so, obviously, this month, at the end of the month, we've got our week of prayer happening the 24th to the 28th, which will be happening up in the Gilbourne Centre again. And we had a great time, didn't we? The week of prayer. You kicked that off on that Monday night with that devotional that we kind of really shaped our week together.
Yeah, it was a fantastic time. It just I think it really felt like people were ready to engage with God, and you just felt it throughout the whole week. It just wasn't a night; it was through the whole week. It was just a fantastic week of prayer.
And so, what came from that was Mark shared about the lady getting hold of Jesus's robe. And we don't want to forget that. We want to kind of a reminder for this year that we want to press in. We don't want to just be passive, but we want to actively get hold of what God has for us as individuals, as a church. And so we really want to encourage you to prioritise getting along to a couple of those evenings. That'll be starting on the Monday night, so we're not starting on a Sunday like we have done in the past. We'll start on the Monday again and run through to the Thursday evening here, then Fridays in homes doing your own thing.
Yeah, so that's going to be in between the two terms, isn't it? Between the home group terms.
And so that's our rhythm of weeks of prayer, and then the following week the groups will start. And just as an aside, so groups, you can sign up from Easter Sunday. They'll all be on the website. But before that, we're going to pray together. We want it to be central to what we're doing as a church. I read a good quote someone shared it with me just the other day, a Terry Berger quote. If you know Terry Berger is leader of our family of churches for many years, and he talks about prayer as not just something we do because it's something that Christians should do, not something because it's the right thing to do, but because it's part of our life in Jesus, that it gives it its power as we pray together. That God moves, that God has incredible promises for people who pray.
Fantastic quote, fantastic quote. And that is the key, isn't it? If we've all got a strong prayer life, if we are keen to pray, keen to encounter God, then when we come together corporately, there's going to be fireworks.
Yeah, and I've just been encouraged and challenged myself to be praying for us as a church and our prayer life, just hearing about what's going on around the world, but in our nation as well, in the UK, just churches that are putting on extra prayer times because God is just stirring in them a hunger to pray and seek Him and worship and prayer, and so it just makes me excited for our week of prayer. And then what we've talked about as the leadership team we're going to put into place is monthly prayer and worship evenings, kind of like we were doing before, where we can spend time in the presence of God, pray together. Mondays, right? We decided
we've gone for Mondays. It seems to be a very good night to do it.
We'll do an hour, and then we'll see what happens, see where it goes.
Yeah.
But they'll start. So that week of prayer in April, then May and June will end. The last Monday, I think we've said, of the month will be a night of prayer and worship here in Gilbourne again.
Yeah, and actually having that combination of prayer and worship together is so key. And that week of prayer we had at the beginning of the year, I think one of the highlights was that the worship really fed our praying, as well as our praying really connecting with God.
Yeah.
So to have the combination of the two, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and the verse we read throughout January, the Romans 12, 9 to 14. In there, I know we didn't spend a Sunday preaching on it, but we talked about that being the culture that we want to create here, Redeemer. That's the kind of family we want to be. And it says there's just a couple of words in it that say, "Be constant in prayer." And so we didn't do a Sunday on that, not because we don't think that's important. We think it's absolutely vital, but we had to just pick 4 things. Be constant in prayer. We want to take that seriously. We want to be a praying people, a people that recognise that things happen because when God's people gather to pray together.
Yeah.
So get along to it.
Yeah.
Mark, what else are we going to talk about? I've got my list here. Let me just remind myself. That's the next thing. Stories. We want to hear stories.
Yes, we do.
Why do we want to hear stories, Mark?
Yeah, we want to hear stories because hearing how God is answering prayer is key to us being stimulated to pray. If you hear that something great has happened, it stirs your own faith to believe that God will do great things. Yeah. And so what we want is for when you get answers to prayer, to feed them into us, and so that we can collate that, we can use those opportunities, maybe sharing testimonies, or maybe just recalling those moments when the preaching's happening or something like that. So we're constantly showing that God is answering prayer, because He is. We're not trying to make it happen. He is answering prayer, and we're just thrilled when we hear those stories from various different people.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So we'd love to hear your stories, no matter how small or big they might be. We do want to encourage one another that prayers are being answered, whether we're sharing them in our groups or on Sunday mornings or other times on social media, who knows where. But we'd love to hear stories of what God is doing, of prayers that are being answered. Because we expect God to answer when we pray together.
Yeah.
So, just to let you know what's coming up. So, we're Sunday evening, as maybe you're potentially watching this, or maybe you're watching it in the week. Saturday, in this space downstairs behind us, there's a market happening, craft fair. There's the shops will be doing all sorts of things. We really want to be a blessing to the centre, so do come along throughout the day on Saturday. We'd love to be part of what's going on down there and be a blessing to the shops down there. But we also have stuff going on upstairs, so if you are an adult or whatever age, there is stuff for you. We've got hot cross buns, tea and coffee. We've got some craft stuff for adults. We've got some people running some arty type tables for adults. We've also got stuff going on for kids, some crafts, and a scavenger hunt that Anna and Dave are organising around the first floor, where kids can win or get a little chocolate Easter egg. What more could you want? And so we'd love to see as many of you as possible on that Saturday. Invite your friends, invite your family.
Sounds fantastic.
It's going to be great.
Yeah,
and then on
brilliant.
Sunday morning, we've got our big Easter celebration. Again, a great opportunity to invite people in. People who might only come to church once or twice a year might come on Easter. Let's invite them to come and be guests amongst us as
It's
a
one,
family.
it's one of the best Sundays of the year, I always think.
Yeah.
Easter Sunday. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just a great reason to exalt Jesus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so have a fantastic Easter whenever you're watching this, or if you
Yeah.
watched it after Easter, then hope you've had a fantastic Easter. You know what I mean. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.